here. Well, I can do push to talk. It doesn't bother too much here, but anyway, Skip, good to hear you, and get me on the list there. W5VXV.
I would see it hitting an S9 here. But it's a little bit dark, a little bit longer. Thank you for being there. I appreciate people passing on those who are close to the storm check-in time there. So thanks for being there. Solid. All right. Any other early check-in besides Jay? I'll get back to you in a moment, Jay. Any other early check-in for the West Coast Airline at K6000?
Kilowatt Delta 6, Tango, Kilo X-ray, KD6 EKX.
Yeah, I got the Delta 6, and then I got a noise house with the sign of the ox. It sounded like Andy there.
Yep, it would be Andy. Kilowatt Delta 6, Tango, Kilo X-ray, checking in, Skip.
No, I say I recognize the word. Right, okay. We got you on the list, Johnny. KD6TKX, okay. Andy there in King Mountain. Yeah, the only 15 coming right. All right. Let me go back to the top of the mountain. There, and check if M6BZY and W6JKM in there, and then we'll try to pick up AI6RY. And let's see, not AI6RY, but NY6L. So, Paul, are you there? And I want to make sure Kevin is still with us. W6JKM. K6LGL. K6BZY, K6LGL for the early.
I don't hear him.
He probably stepped away. Okay, he's on the list. Kevin, W6JKM, possibly still in Dover, K6LGL.
Yeah, okay, Skip, good signal tonight. Very, very nice, strong signal. Yeah, bank conditions are seem like they're in pretty darn good shape. And I'm hearing everybody. Yeah, I don't know if you were there to hear Jeff's love story there. I was sitting here enjoying every bit of it. Yeah, that's a pretty cool courtship on the internet and all that stuff, emails and yeah, we didn't have that when I was courting. Yeah, we didn't have anything like that. So yeah, we did things a little differently, and it did not involve carrier pigeons that deliver messages. No, I think what we had were you had to call the flower shop or go down to the flower shop and they would deliver flowers with notes, and you'd write a letter. Yeah, or you got to write a love letter, and then if you were lucky, you got one back where the flap was closed on the envelope. You had a little kiss, from lipstick on the envelope, and perfume, things like that. I remember all that stuff. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, bring back good memories. You were going through all that. I'm saying, yeah, this is the kind of stuff. I mean, we can throw politics out. We can throw religion out as far as ham radio topics of the evening, and talk about old radios and love affairs. Courtships, old-fashioned. That's good stuff. Yeah, see, I don't know what the formulas are for a successful marriage. I think I won't go down that road, but I will say that I've been married going on almost 50 years. 50 dog biscuits, by golly. Yeah, it seems like a long time, but boy, it seems like yesterday. All that means is time flies by real fast. Okay, well, let's see. Nothing really going on other than started back with the home improvement projects. Now that the winter weather rain has stopped, at least for the moment, started working on the re-landscaping the backyard with the artificial grass. The drip system and all that stuff is done. So now it's getting the pathways done and to get the yard prepped for artificial grass and get all that stuff. So it will turn out to be a nice Airbnb. You don't have to worry about a lot of maintenance. So that project is well underway. All right, back to you, Skip. Doing a great job as always. And of course, Ron there making a list of those that checked in for the roundtable. A lot of good conversation. That's when we heard about Jeff's love story there. I loved it. That made it worth it right there, getting out here early and hearing that. That's great stuff there. And of course, George pulling out the old rigs that he hasn't had on in a while. Get them on the air. By the way, George, it sounds beautiful. It really sounds beautiful. And, all right, without further delay, back to you, Skip. K6LGL, WA6JKN.
The WA9JIB is here.
N4DLA. We'll put him down after K6TKF Sandy, number 16 there. WA9JIB. Wow. That's on the left side. Oh, yeah, that's a good actually the kind of thing that pretty much every checker. I mean, you can bring your personal story, you can dial back, and talk about your old ex-girlfriends or wives or anything that does that. As a matter of fact, two lessons, that song, it's a pretty loose, flexible. The idea is to communicate with people, So that makes a very much support this activity. All right. Then we'll pick up our guys that checked in earlier, and we'll also pick up those that checked in lately there. So let's start with NY6L, and then we'll try to pick up KN6 LYH Wilson, which was a new call. So, Jay, over to you. K6LGL.
Okay, very good, Skip. Good evening to all. NY6LJ here in a cool Hesperia here. It was a lovely day today. And I take care of some errands today with my daughter. While my wife and Miss Grandma watched her granddaughter. And finally broke down and went to Harbor Freight today and got a 500-pound flatbed cart with a hydraulic lift on it, so I could move some of these, boat anchors, heavy amplifiers, and all that stuff. My wife's been getting after me, and she's right. Got to preserve your back. So I went ahead and spent the $270-something and got it. And tomorrow I'll be putting that together and preparing for a Claremont swap meet coming up this coming Saturday. And I'm also going to meet up with Juan, KV6KMU. So getting some things together and make some more room in the garage. And I got to get my SUV, my couple-year-old Hyundai Santa Fe, get it in the garage here to protect it from the upcoming, triple-digit scorching sun. and protect that vehicle there. So I've got to make it last as long as possible. Anyway, other than that, just enjoying retirement here. It's going to be, let's see, in June, it's going to be 2 years. So there you go. Back there too, there, Skip, K6LGL, NY6LJ here in a cool, lovely Hesperia.
Fine, Jay. NY6L and Hesperia, K6LGL, pretty early for the West Coast AMINet. Great idea buying a hydraulic accessory there to move the heavy load anchors around. Hey, our backs are not easily repairable with software. So anytime you can use a mechanical, no fool with that. That is a worthwhile, definitely, and a good investment. So good for you. And I agree with your wife on that. That's another one. It's nice. So glad you're doing it. Okay. I also wanted to catch up. There was another station that was an unfamiliar call, and that was KB6SXK, and I did not get the name. If you're still in there, let's get you checked in so we can put you on the list for the West Coast AMINet at 8 o'clock. K6LGL.
Yeah, it's Kilowatt Bravo 6, Sierra X-Ray America, Sierra X-Ray Alpha. Wondering if you're copying me, Skip.
Okay, I stand corrected. SXA. Now, what's the name and where you're located? It sounds pretty good.
Roger there. We're just up the street from Ron. KD6 AWS. We're up here vacationing for a couple of days, and home QTH is Glendora, and I think the call got screwed up there. I think that's what Ron said to you was the K, but it's Alpha. So the name here is Paul, and we're just got some old junk here that we're running, and thought we'd get in here and say good day to everybody and see if this old stuff is going to work at all. I'm not sure who I'm supposed to give it over to. I thought it was KY6LYH, but I think he already went, so I'll send it back to you there, Skip. Back to you.
No, I'm still here.
We'll get to you in a moment, LYH. So stand by. Don't go away, please. Hopefully you'll stick around to the main part of the net. I got the call corrected, but I still, is the name Farrell, or did I miss something?
Oh, the name is Paul. Papa Alpha Uniform Lima.
Paul? Papa Alpha Uniform Lima?
What's up there, Skip?
Okay, that's what I wanted to be sure. Okay, Paul, thank you. Well, thanks to Paul there. All right, thank you very much. Nice to meet you. My name is Skip. I'm in Santa Monica, and I've been doing these early check-ins for the Wednesday AMINet. Oh, I don't know, half a dozen years or more. I used to be one of the net controls, but kind of retired from that. I used to go back around 202, 203, 204, 205, 206, somewhere in that time. So, Okay, thank you very much. Let me pick up KI6LYH, and that's Wilson, and then we'll go to KD6TKX and WA9 Jaguar. In the meantime, before you pick it up, Wilson, let's get any other early check-ins. This is Skip in Santa Monica taking the earlies, K6LGL. N4DLA. J6W, Paul, not Paul, but Dave, WJ6LL, and KF6SYD. Okay. Good. Hello to you, Steve. Glad to have you on board. Okay. Let's pick up LYH Wilson, and then would you pass it to KD6PKX, Andy, K6LGL for the earlies.
Okay, Skip, thank you. K6LGL, KI6LYH, Lima Yankee Hotel. Name is Wilson. I'm in Arcadia, California. I don't have a complete list. It's a very broken list of people here, so when I finish, which is be very, very shortly, the appropriate person can just go ahead and pick it up. It'll probably take me a few net sessions to get the list fairly well made up with the appropriate call sign and name. I'm located in Arcadia, California, and that's east of Pasadena. And somebody much earlier asked me about the amplifier, and it's an OM Power OM4001 Alpha. And somebody, probably the same person, asked me about the tube or tubes. And the tubes are FU728F tubes. And I am running 7 watts for life to get the amateur legal out. I have to be careful here. If I go past 6 or 7 watts, it'll take me past the amateur legal limit. So I'll have to be careful with that. But it's under right now. I don't have too much else other than I'm just new, and I'm making up the list of people that check in here. And I was listening to the early check-in and the fact that the net starts at 8, so I'm still compiling all this information. So that pretty much covers it for me right now. So the appropriate person in this line here for the roundtable, go ahead and pick it up, and then I'll go ahead and get your name call sign down, and it'll add to the list as I proceed here. Thank you very much.
Very good, Wilson.
Wilson, nice to meet you. I haven't met you before, I don't think. This is Tango Kilo X-Ray Andy, located at Curry Mountain, California. And good signals here tonight. Good to hear everybody, and good to be on the list. So thank you for taking care of that. And we'll just turn it back to you, and you can proceed. K6LGL in the Wednesday AMI group early. This is KD6PKX, Andy.
George from Santa Ynez.
It was a big double, Andy.
Chuma and Santa Barbara. Above Santa Barbara. Okay, well, Skip in Santa Monica. Relatively low power. My bigger transmitter still needs a little bit more work, so put that on the air where I could run a full legal limit period and then some. So I'm just running 100 watts with a modified and rebuilt DX100, the old heat kit from 1955. Not heat? Yeah, it is heat kit. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Johnson. Also have a couple of Rangers and other things. So welcome to the net. The AM, there's a lot of flexibility. Because most nets start at 7 o'clock, so there's activity an hour before the net on sideband and even on AM. And this is good because it keeps the frequency occupied and people communicating. And then this particular net, the majority of the participants wanted us to start at 8, the formal part of the net. So I do the early, so starting at 7 o'clock an hour early. There's a chance of those, who can't stick around too long to check in and known to recognize the participants like Mike, AM6QU. He has activity regarding his soul and he can't stick around. And then there's several others. And we appreciate those who sort of, compile lists of those and pass along to me. So that's the purpose of the early. We can follow this and we get into the net control for the formal part. And the formal part is, we go through it and you We are an AMI-inspired net, and that's Amplitude Modulation International, which now is shifted to Silver Springs, Nevada, and N9 AMI is now the chief honcho of the Amplitude Modulation International, now here in the western states, and he took over from KW1 Canyon, retired. So AMI now is shifted to the west, and we're glad to have him. We'll continue the activity and get quite a bit of support for that. Okay, after that, this is Skip in Santa Monica, K6LGL. Let's go back to most recent check-ins that we had here. Let's see, let me pick up WA9JIB. No, let's start with WA9JIB. That's it for WJ6W and KF6SYV. And then we'll pick up some more early check-ins there, or regular early check-ins to the net. I just want to recognize everybody, make sure we're still there. So over to you there, Andy. KD6TKX, K6LGL.
LGL, the AMI earlies, KD6TKX, Andy here. Good to hear everyone. So far, so good. All signals coming in very well. And Wilson, nice to make your acquaintance. Welcome to the group. Down to you, Bob. Everything's right now because we're next to each other in line. That seems to be the way it's supposed to go. WA9JIB, KD6TKX.
Okay, Andy, KD6TKX, WA9JIB. Yeah, I got out my calibration curve and recalibrated the universe so that we were adjacent to each other. And I guess you're the input inductor and I'm the output inductor or something like that, at least for tonight. And we'll switch roles as appropriate. This is WA9JIB, Bob over here in La Cañada. Greetings to the newcomers. That's Paul out there in Joshua Tree and Wilson in Arcadia. And, well, Wilson, you got a great signal here. When you said you're in Arcadia, I knew why, because you're just on one side of Pasadena. I'm on the other side of Pasadena here in La Cañada. So, anyway, signals sound pretty good. Sounds like I tuned in a little late. I missed the romance advice that was being bandied about. And so I thought Kevin was going to dispense some upon me, but I just didn't get it. And I think he said Jeff dispensed some, but I think I know what Jeff's romance advice is, because when we were driving back from George's last year, I think I did get that lesson. And he knows, because he's making it work. So anyway, and Skip, you said I could talk about old girlfriends, so, and I fully intend to do that, except well, we just don't have near enough time for that, so I'm going to have to give you a range. With that, I look forward to the formal part of the net and turn it over to WJ6W from WA9JIB.
November 4 Delta Lima Alpha N4DLA.
Okay, Bob. Well, I guess I missed all the romance advice too, but thankfully I don't need any of that. So I didn't miss much there, but I guess there's an undercurrent going on here on the net tonight. Anyway, yeah, good to hear everyone so far, and hopefully we have a very nice net tonight. I'm not sure who's running it. Maybe George, perhaps. I forget which week of the month it is right now, but anyway, we're standing by, and we'll send it over to Steve, KF6SYD, WJ6W.
W6IRD.
Sharon, go ahead and put it. Steps away. Welcome aboard, Charles.
K6IRD and W6IRD checking in.
Hello, W6IRD. Okay. And my understanding is that, let me just check something here. George may have missed his turn. The 13th of June. It blew his turn. Inconvenience and some changes. So they said, my understanding is that George still whatever will support whoever actually takes the honors there. So I didn't hear Steve. Let's make sure that Steve is back to Steve. LGL for KF6S W6HCS. Where is it? Well, I'm glad to hear you, George. W6HCS. And I was reminded by your friend Jeff there in Fresno that you're celebrating your birthday tomorrow. And congratulations. 2 nations, 93. So, hey, remember the next one and then continue for 5 more. Over to you for a short one, K6LZL.
Okay, Skip, very good, yeah. Actually, tomorrow at noon, Marion and I are flying down to Dallas. Her brother has his birthday one day before mine, so it was her idea that we go down and celebrate birthdays down there in Texas. Now, normally I would not approach that area, but for consideration of Marion, I'll get on an airplane tomorrow and fly down to Texas. And, yeah, it's going to be on the 17th. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to some nice barbecue and that sort of thing. Anyhow, sounding good tonight, Skip. Should have a good net. So we'll be standing by anytime you're ready. What is it? It's about, 10 minutes before 8. Okay? Anyhow, the voice of Santa Monica is coming through beautifully tonight. Skip, go ahead.
Well, you're sounding like the HCX that I'm familiar with, loud and clear and beautiful audio. Hey, sounding good, and I'm glad you had a chance to take a trip to Texas there and visit your relatives and friends and whatnot. Congratulations again. Mine comes in mid-year, so, and I'm still got a number of years to catch up to you. Hi. Okay. So, I heard the IRD forum. Is the two in there? And mine, I'm glad to hear both of you. So, let's do it to you, and then we'll take a quick. After that, we'll take any more check-ins. K6IRD or W6IRD, whoever's close to the microphone, K6LZL.
This is W6IRD. Skip, Sharon's doing dishes, getting stuff cleaned up. She'll be out later on. And so put us down for the round for the net. And George, happy birthday to you. I want to be one of the first to wish you a happy birthday. And we'll talk with you about it later. And let's see what else is to say. I haven't too much more to say other than the fact that happy birthday, everybody. And we'll talk to you then. Back to you, Skip.
Well, thank you very much, Wayne. W6IRD, K6LZL. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here. And you're not very far apart. You're as far age-wise, you and George are there. And we admire you senior citizens. I'm so number years behind you. But hopefully, that we'll when the years get to work, up on cooking. Okay. All right, net control, who should be W6 Hotel Charlie X-ray. Celebrating a birthday here. Skip and South America. Any other late, or not late, but check-ins, early check-ins to the West Coast AMINET for Wednesday edition. K6 Al Hill.
N4DLA.
I got part of it, and then just you faded out. So give me a repeat on that call, please.
N4DLA.
IYC.
That's Larry down in San Diego.
Okay, well, IYC, he's for some reason, usually he's S9 and plus, and not quite making, okay. KM6 IYC, good. Okay, sorry Larry, that's the way the band is, it's shifting around. K6 LZL, okay, let's go to our net control, WA68CX, happy birthday again, George, and Marion, I hope you're held up, sir. And, hey, good luck with the net. You know, are you ready to write? I'll give you the list of what I have compiled with some help there. K6 LZL.
Skip, did you get N4DLA?
By the way, Marion is doing fine. She was bragging today that she had a follow-up visit with the physician, and it's in a medical center where they have stairs, you know. And she said before she had the surgery, she had really difficult time doing stairs. But today she found she could walk up and down the stairs. So apparently the surgery worked out fine, and she's feeling better than she did before. So anyhow, that's good news. At least for me, it's good news. And yeah, Skip, we're ready to talking anytime, so go ahead.
Okay, I told her about K6IC. Was that you interviewed? Here's the illustration they're trying to check in. K6 LZL.
Yeah, that was N4DLA.
Now, I'm not doing very well with you. Hey, George will check you in. Maybe, conditions will improve a little bit. Well, good evening. WA68CX was going to be rehearsed for the 8 o'clock portion here. So here's the list that we had with George. I presume you got krill and fortunately here, right?
I've got my turkey krill. I've got this little pot of black tar derivative, so I'm able to do my sculling with a turkey feather and some papyrus. I have some extra papyrus here, so it's going to work tonight. Go ahead.
Fantastic. Well, papyrus is quite suitable for the activity. Okay, George. The first one that I checked in was KD6VWS, who helps out, keeps things together, and then give me a list of most recent activities. So that's KD6VWS, Vaughn and Joshua Tree. One we recorded AI6 on there in the Bay Area. AI6 Lima Yankee, John. And then followed by N6WHK, and that's Phil. November 6 Whiskey Hotel Kilo, Phil, up in La Mesa, San Diego area. Then early check-in for KM62QU, but Mike isn't there. He's taking care of his son, and but he checked in. So let's skip him. There is a chance he may be back, but most likely not. Then following was KK6IRZ there in Inland Empire, Kilo 6 India Romeo Zulu, Jeff. Followed by W6YEC, George in Lemon Grove. W6 Yankee Echo Charlie, George. Followed by N6BZY, Paul, also in Lemon Grove. N6 Bravo Zulu Yankee, Paul. Then followed by WA6JKN, Kevin in Gilroy, California. WA 6 Juliet Kilowatt November, or Jacks, Kings, and Nines, as they sometimes like to know. And then followed by KB6SYA, also Paul. New check-in. I think he may be rounds there. Welcome aboard, Paul. KB6 Sierra X-Ray Alpha. And then we also have checked in Jeff, W6ZBX, but he probably is out to dinner, so it looks like he won't be there. You don't want to remind me about your birthday, so sure appreciate that. Okay, then our other out-of-state station, WFVXC, Ted, in White Rock, New Mexico. W5 Victor X-Ray Echo, Ted. Followed by KI6LYH, Wilson in Arcadia. Kilowatt India 6, Lima Yankee Hotel. His name is Wilson, I presume like the ex-president. And he's in Arcadia. Kilowatt India 6, Lima Yankee Hotel. And welcome aboard to the West Coast AMI-NET Wednesday edition, Wilson. Then followed by NY6L, J in Hysteria. November Yankee 6 Lima, J, NY6L. Then followed by KD6 TKX, Andy. Kilowatt Delta 6 Tango Kilo X-Ray. And before I go, I want to make sure that, we're still in sync there, George, over.
Yeah, coming through fine. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. All right, after KD6 TKX, WA9JIB, Bob, up in the foothills of the San Gabriels, WA9 Juliet India Bravo. WA9JIB Bob, La Cañada, then followed by WJ6W, Tarzana, Willie Juliet 6 Willie, or Whiskey Juliet 6 Whiskey, Dave. And followed by KF6SYD Steve, Long Beach, KF6 Sierra Yankee Delta, Steve. Okay. And then followed by K6 IRD, Sean, possibly, and W6 IRD Wayne. If Sharon isn't there, we certainly will honor her memory, so her call is mentioned. Our long-lady supporter of AMI there. W6 IRD Wayne. Then KN6I Larry. And there was somebody else trying to check in, but I missed after that. That's Kilowatt November 6, Yankee Charlie, Larry, in San Diego. And we have another one. So,
You don't worry.
Again. The rest of this is I have it. And K6LGL. So, good luck with the net and happy birthday. And I'm sure glad that Larry is on demand. So the two of you sound like you're going to have a great trip. W68CX, K6LGL.
Okay, very good. I think there was another breaker. Go ahead.
K6ZSR. And George, N4DLA has been trying to check in. N4DLA, Matthew.
Yeah, okay, I got Mike. Beautiful signal coming through from Santa Barbara, and got K4DLA. Give me the name again for that one, K4DLA.
Yeah, it's November 4 DLA. Matthew?
Okay, got it. Matthew, great. Anyone else, please come now. If not, let's kick off the net. It looks like it's about 3 minutes after 8. What a beautiful world we have here tonight. We're beginning to get into spring weather. Had our beautiful rains this year on the West Coast. I love it. I just love it. So, life is good. Life is good. Anyhow, let's start out with a setup for all the stations here, and let the world know. We've got some really radioactive people out here. Go ahead now. Okay, very good. I think that world out there got their alert tonight. There's activity, some really quality activity, in fact, on this frequency. And of course, this is the AMI net, which meets every Wednesday night, has for decades now, many years, on this frequency. Typically, during the summer, we meet at 8 o'clock because of daylight savings time. In the winter time, it's usually 7 o'clock. And of course, the purpose of this net is to encourage, assist, help all those wonderful operators out there that are capable of producing modulated voice signal. For me, it's a special treat because I do look back on the history of the development of communications, human communications over the airways, through the ether, as they say. But keeping in mind that following the early experiments in continuous wave, they did come up with a means of communicating human voice and across the world. For me, growing up, it was magic, absolute magic. And we continue that tradition today with some of the most skilled, inspired radio operators that I've encountered in my lifetime. So anyhow, the net is divided into 2 portions. Check in. We have a list here of a whole bunch of people that we'll call on. And when we call on you, give your acknowledge your call sign, location, and the equipment you're using. And from that, we'll have a round table, at which time people can join in and just hang loose. Talk about whatever they want to, at whatever length they want to. But in the meantime, because we have a large list, I would ask people to check in, kind of keep it as tight as possible, and not pick up too much bandwidth. So anyhow, before we get on with this, let's ask for any more check-ins that we may have missed coming up.
Okay.
Very nice.
I presume
at the moment.
You turn it over to me there, George.
So,
good evening, Kipling K6L Joe, but in case I'm doubling, I want to be sure that I'm not clobbering anybody unintentionally. Okay, appears it's that. Well, I'm glad to do the earlies. This is Skip in Santa Monica, K6LGL. Running my usual Benton Harbor suitcase. You can't call it heavy metal, but it's light metal. Well over 100-pound transmitter. So, known as the Jackson unit, all solid-stated and one flex cooler. And it's got the original tubes that came with it. But that is the panel and the modulators. There have been a few other changes, clamp tube and audio, over the years, and I got it back in the 90s there. First put it on the air. AMI number is 1326-1326. If there is a round table, I would like to participate. Again, happy birthday to our guest, Nut Control, probably one of the oldest members of this net, and that's George Silva, WA6 Hotel Charlie X-ray. And again, my best wishes to you and Ryan, and hey, have a great trip. So, I'm looking forward to Horse Smith. We got a good bunch of AM types, several new people joining us, and we're glad to welcome you. Over to you. W6HCX K6 Little Green Light, shining from Santa Monica by the bay.
You're shining brilliantly across the bay tonight, Skip. Very good. And got you down for the round table. Next up, Ron, KD6 BWS. Go ahead, Ron.
Okay, George. WK6HCX KD6 BWS. Happy birthday, George. Hope you have a nice birthday. One from Joshua Tree, and AMI number 1671. Running the VX100, feeding it with a Turner Plus 3 microphone, and Stromberg Carlson mixer preamp, and that's going up, well, I'm listening on the BC348J, and Heat Kit antenna tuner, 2040, and using the long wire, about 5/8 wave long on this frequency, but counterpoise, knowing the swap of the round table, and I'll be listening through. So back to you, George. WA6 HCX KD6 EWS, Joshua Tree.
Okay, Ron, very good. What a nostalgic thing there. I just had a flashback. BC348, I remember, when I was in school, after the war, the surplus, that became one of the prime, could not afford one at the time, but of all the surplus equipment receivers, that was the prime one, of course. Just beautiful. So, great nostalgic memories here. Okay, next up, John, AI6LY. Go ahead, John.
WA6ACX. Good evening, George. Nanette. One of my pet peeves is folks that cut into line, and I really don't want to be that guy. I don't know how I got accelerated to the top of the list because I checked in somewhere between Andy and Wilson. So if you want to put me back down where I belong, I'll be happy to wait my proper turn. AI6LY.
No, sorry, I'm looking at you. Well, I have a signal and a signal stream. And now, what does they do, what does the Pope do in Rome? Oh, dispensation. Dispensation for the sinners. Those of us that belong to that group, serious sinners. I'm one of them. But we get dispensations every now and then. And tonight you have a dispensation, John, so please, carry on.
Okay, George. Well, very kind to you. And good evening once again, everybody. AI6LY, John, up here in Scotts Valley. We had a couple of very nice days in a row up here. Unfortunately, I can't say so much for the band conditions up here. There's only a few people that I can hear without using KFS tonight. But in any event, let's see, AMI number 1773, running the Gonsa Commander 2 into an amp that gives me about 250 watts carrier up to my inverted V, and listening on the trusty SX32 again tonight. No swap, no roundtable, and happy birthday. AI60Y. Back to you, George.
Okay, very good. Very good, John. Beautiful signal, by the way. I am monitoring this on both receivers, and the KFS. And your receiver on KFS just blasting through on the band. What a beautiful signal. Okay, next up, N6WHK. Phil, it's your turn. Go ahead, Phil.
WA6HCX, November 6th, Whiskey Hotel Kilo. Follow student, and I mean it. Happy birthday, and I hope many more to come. My number is 1661. We're running the normal equipment, Johnson Viking Ranger, Amarillo HQ 110, L4B to help the signal along, about maybe 200 watts, if I really stretch it a little. Johnson Matrix to keep everything in check. A D104 microphone. I have a nice little Amarillo speaker here to help the audio sounds. Running about 235 plus or minus feet of wire in a diamond configuration. FB610, just to make sure the pattern is in good shape and looking good. WA6HCX and 6WHK, clear.
Okay, Phil, very good. And look at the quality of your signal on the scope. It looks great. It looks great. So we'll catch you next week. And Sharon and Wayne should have the net. Okay, next up, KK6IRZ. Jeff, go ahead, your turn.
All right, very good. W6HCX with the group here on Wednesday night. AMI. I'm hearing everybody quite well. Banging signals coming in to Chino, California. And the AMI number I got, what is it, 1809. And I guess I have to apologize for stirring up stories of love before the net earlier. It seems like that trickled on for quite a while. Not exactly sure what happened there, but okay. This is a homebrew dynamic microphone into a little homebrew preamp single tube. This is the homebrew amplifier I got from Claremont a while back, Hamfest. And it's a 3CX1000, but I only have about 1,500 volts on it right now, so it does a little bit more than the SB200 that I had before, maybe about 175 watts of carrier, not much more. And then the homebrew link-coupled balanced tuner for open wire line to the inverted V, and that's kind of it. And the transmitter at this point is the ICOM 735, which has been touched a little bit, hopefully to make it at least in a somewhat acceptable sounding AM signal here on the band. So that's kind of what it is. Let's see, I got nothing to sell or swap. I am going to the Nearfest Amfest in New Hampshire coming up here at the end of the month, and I do hope to make it to the barbecue.
Happy birthday, George. I feel like everybody's going to say happy birthday. I want to do something different. Maybe I should break into song, or maybe I can do a little tap dance or something here for your birthday. But be assured you can't see it, but I'm passing on the goodwill and happy birthday to you. Fantastic, and it's great to have you still so active, and I look forward to many more years of knowing you. So there you go. That's kind of what it is. I think I will hang out for a while and see if the after round table is gathering or not. Signals are good, so maybe some people will hang out. We'll see. And of course, good evening to everybody. I've been hearing the pretty long list. So there you go. Back to you, George. W6HCX, and thanks, Skip, for doing the early check-ins. By the way, I do enjoy the show. W6HCX, KJ6IRZ.
Okay, Jeff, very good. And by the way, your signal's coming through very, very nicely. And yeah, as far as being active, my problem is I think I'm overactive. Yeah, I have full calendars from morning till night, trying to squeeze certain things in. I spent an hour today putting together my income tax for the year, so got that out of the way. And along with I had also taught a class this morning as well. So we keep busy. Never lazy, never bored. So life is great. Speaking of great life, W6YEC, George, what's happening in Lemon Grove? Have you all calmed down there, or are you still doing crazy things in your area there? And how was the weather today? Go ahead, George.
Hi, George. Very good. W6HCX, W6YEC. Well, we don't have time to talk about all the craziness and all of that. You put a time limit on this thing. Now there's still a lot of craziness going on around the area, and yet also pretty nice down here. Weather changed on us a little bit. It never cleared up today, and a little chilly and some sprinkles, just slight mist. But I think that's going to be short-lived, and we'll be back to some nice weather. And I tell you, the grass is high. I got the tractor out, and I think the grass was up to the height of the tractor. So it was quite the chore starting to cut that down, and got it half done with the acre and a half we have here. So making a little progress. Anyway, thanks for taking the net tonight, and big group. Hello to everybody, and especially our newcomers. This is very good. Well, listen, we're running the Concert Twins tonight. Haven't had them on for a while, so I thought, tonight let's turn on the Concert Twins, and lo and behold, they're still working and driving a Dentron MLA 2500. And by the way, I got at one of the barbecues many years ago. Mickey's friend from Big Bear, both gone now. But, yeah, he had that there, and the cord was cut, and I didn't know what I was getting into, but I picked it up and got it running, and it has been a faithful amplifier for many, many years now. So that goes back a long ways as far as barbecues are concerned. And, but anyway, full legal limit into a coaxial flat top up about 40 feet, resonant antenna here on 75. And thanks again. Good evening to everybody. We'll just sit back here and enjoy the rest of the net this evening. And a big happy birthday to you, 93. That is amazing. Yeah, I'm starting to count that direction. You know, you used to count from backward. You know, I'm this old. It's now, I just turned 78, so I'm way behind you there. But my goal is 90 at this stage. Goal is 90. So another 12 years, and we'll be crossing into that decade. But we got to get to the next decade first, the 80s. 73, catch you later. W6HX, W6YC.
Okay, George, very good. As usual, beautiful signal from Lemon Grove. And Gonza Twins, sounding great, just sounding great. And yes, I can sympathize with you. The grass here, we have cattle on the in the association here. You know, we have 71 properties up in the hills here, but they don't stand a chance this year. The grass is, you know, at least 2 feet high right now, so they don't stand. But they're going to get really fat, really fat. Anyhow, great to hear you tonight, and we'll see you later. Next up, in 6BZY, Paul, go ahead. Paul, are you out there in 6BZY? Well, I don't hear Paul or see any signal on the scope here. Next up, Kevin, WA6JKN. What's happening in the garlic capital of the world these days? Go ahead, Kevin.
Hang on a second here. I got to mute some things. Okay, yeah, the modulation monitor was had the speaker turned on, so I had to shut it off. Oh well, it's off now. Let me drop it just to make sure I'm not doubling. Okay, very good. Good evening to one and all. This is WA6JKN, Kevin and Gilroy. Gilroy is also known as the garlic capital of the world. And the garlic stuff is going really well. Matter of fact, let's see, they had their harvest. I think it was their first harvest. Let's see, yeah, I think this would be their first harvest of garlic. It's showing up in all the local stores here from Christopher Ranch. For those that know Christopher, he passed away this year. Yeah, I don't know how old he was, but he's been around a long, long time. A big benefactor of. Matter of fact, he over the years he's donated millions and millions of dollars to local youth groups and whatnot. Matter of fact, one of the new high schools in town, he funded the what do you call it, the football field, everything, the big signs, the big billboards, the parking lot, the stands, everything, the astroturf, or whatever they call the fake grass, and they call it Don Christopher's field. So he left a little legacy there for the kids. And but that's what Don's done. I work with Don on different things, and him and Don Gage, who used to be his manager, also became mayor of Gilroy. And those two guys, they did some really spectacular things and left quite a legacy. That's for sure. Okay, let's see. Ham radio projects, not much going on. The rig I'm on tonight is the ICOM 7610, all digital. All digital tonight. I've been running mostly digital lately, especially up on the higher bands. The amplifier is the Mercury Lux running full legal limit. And the amplifier has been behaving really well, so I'm very happy with it. And what else? The antenna, the project I built based on Mike, Mike who checked in tonight, he sent out an email a month or so ago about these digital Wi-Fi switches. That's ZSR, Mike. And so it was a multi-channel. It was too big for my application, so I did find the little brother to that design. and used it to turn in the old Tel Twister, make it Wi-Fi compatible so I can remote control moving my antenna around, and I had a chance to use it when I was in Arizona, and I was operating Digital Mobile, working Europe, and as soon as the guy told me where he was, I was able to move the antenna to improve on the signal, and I couldn't believe it. It was all done mobile. So that's what you can do with this new technology stuff. Operate Digital Mobile, and I even have a ring. It's not a wedding ring, but it's kind of like a wedding ring. It's digital, it's programmable. You can make it do something like 300-400 different things. It's like the digital watch that they have that works with your iPhone. This works. This is a ring, and of course I use it just for push to talk. I like push to talk as opposed to Vox, and that's what I was originally using as Vox with Squelch, because it uses the car's communication system for communicating ham radio digitally. So that was kind of cool. All right, that's about it on this end. No swap, no round table. And thank you for taking the net. Happy birthday, by the way, 93. So let's take a look at that for a minute. The actuary tables, I just looked it up. You're amongst the top 16% of the population for men that live that long. So that's a big deal. So yeah, just making it to 90. But 93, I think that's what your birthday is, 93. That is, congratulations, George. Whatever you've been doing all these years, you've been doing it right. Happy birthday. Back to you, sir. WA6HCX, WA6JKN.
Okay, Kevin. Yeah, the only recommendation I have is get good wine. Not the cheap stuff, good wine. That'll keep you going for decades, actually. Anyhow, beautiful signal through your system there. Okay, next up, oh my God, I missed part of the call sign, KB6, and everything else was smudged. Phil, KB6, Phil, if you recognize that, your turn, go ahead. Okay, my problem. Didn't pay enough attention. Let's go to Fresno. Jeff, WB6ZBX. Your turn. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, good evening, George. WA6HCX and the AMI-DAT WB6ZBX. Just got back from dinner here. A little interval between dinner and dessert, so having a glass of Chateau Thames Embankment in your honor here for your birthday tomorrow. Many happy returns. And I hope you get a chance to live just as long as you want to. That's all any of us can ask. And rig tonight here is a Collins KW1 75A4 receiver and a umbrella pattern fan V up about 50 feet with 160 and 75 and 40 meter elements. And George, I really tried to get Alicia out here too. Wish you a happy birthday, but she's kind of mic shy. She's that way, but that's okay. That's not a bad trait, being shy in a woman. So, back to you, George. Many happy returns, and you sound excellent here in Fresno. WA6HCX. Oh, by the way, the AMI number is 666. WB6ZBX.
Okay, Jeff. Very good. And no, number one, Alicia's not shy. She's a deep person. She's very graceful, and that makes a difference. She's very sharp person, very graceful. Oh, by the way, Jeff, obviously I'm not going to be around on Saturday we'll be out of state here. But as usual, wow, what a bold thing here. Well, we're like an absolute beacon, a beacon that's always there, no matter what the conditions are. Okay, and we'll catch you next. Let's see, we'll catch you next Wednesday when Sharon has the net, and then the following Saturday, pick you off there. Okay, next up, W5BXA. Ted, your turn. Go ahead.
Oh, very good, George. W6HCX here, W5BXE. Yeah, name is Ted. Tank Echo Delta here. White Rock, New Mexico here. It's about 20 miles northwest of Santa Fe here. Double that by the road Delta here. AMI number 1286. And we're running our homebrew rack from a couple decades back. 833A here, modulated by 4-125s. Feeding a 80-meter feeder fed up about 30 feet here. Open line fed here. And we use a Viking 2 to make the RF for the 833A. D104 head here that has a different element from a JT30 static here. Basically the old D104 here. Well, we're doing pretty good here tonight with the group here. Running about 300 watts here, I guess. Well, we've been shooting a little bit with the KFS here, but the GPR 90 is doing pretty good now on most of the signals once the net got going here. Well, spot and a round table tonight here. And, well, happy birthday to George there. I'm a little bit behind you here as a mid-octogenarian here. But hoping it works as good for me as for you here. W6HCX from W5EXE.
Okay, Ted, what a nice signal from New Mexico. And yes, you're in a beautiful part of that state. I love it. I just love it. Visit there periodically and really, really enjoy it. Anyhow, great signal tonight. Catch you next week. Next up, I have KI6LY. Go ahead, your turn. KI6LY, are you out there?
George, that I think should be KI6LYH. Kilo India 6 Lima Yankee Hotel, and that's also up in Arcadia, I believe. K6LGL.
K6LGL, KI6LYH, Wilson in Arcadia. Start off with congratulations on that big 90-plus birthday. Very, very good, okay? What I'm running here is a Kenwood TS890 transceiver, so that's obviously low-level modulation. And I'm running about 7 watts of carrier to an OM Power OM4001 alpha amplifier, so that's just slightly below legal limit. I have to be careful not to bring the dry power over about 7, maybe 8 watts, otherwise it'll exceed amateur limits. I have outboard audio coming from the mic, which is a boom headset. Right currently, I have some other mics, but it's going through a Rodecaster Pro 2, which is used for the people that do podcasting. I won't get into the details of that. So that handles the audio for me, and I have a digital storage oscilloscope connected to everything, so I can watch the incoming and outgoing audio. And I have an antenna tuner, but I don't need it because the antenna that I'm on right now is resting on 75 meters. And my antenna is a double bazooka inverted V configuration up about 45 feet. That pretty well covers it. I have an external monitor for the radio. It would be kind of nice to have a Viking Ranger and do plate modulation. So maybe that further down the road I might do that. My main my main question is, or concern, is to make sure that my audio sounds okay. I would imagine the signal level is probably pretty good. But if somebody wants to come back and let me know if the audio on AM, I don't have any apparent issue on sideband. Everything's fine. But this is the first time I've been on AM for any length of time, so I'm kind of curious as to the quality of the AM that I'm putting out. So with that, this will be KI6LYH, and back to you, K6LGL, and you can determine who the next person is to pick it up.
Okay, very good. By the way, I was monitoring your audio on my scope. Looks good. Could probably use a little more lows, but otherwise very clean, very understandable. So doing a great job. Okay, next up, Jay. NY6L, the voice of the high desert there, can fill us in on what's been happening on that higher plane in life here. And fill us in on what's happening with the new baby, Natasha, and the radios, and everything. Just cover everything, Jay. Go ahead.
Oh, very good there, George. Good evening to you and everybody in the AMI net. This is JNY6L here in Hesperia, California. AMI 1548. We're running the Super Senior 80-40 meter Super Senior modified D104 into a 3 kilowatt antenna tuner. Keep that SWR nice and low into a 80-40 meter dipole, approximately 40 feet up, out in the clear. Things have been kind of nice here. We'll just keep it under 2 minutes here. It's currently 52 degrees, and it's going to get down to 47 degrees tonight. No rain, and we're able to take care of some gardening regimens last couple of days, and had to get that done. Natasha is here. And little Evelina, Natasha's baby, she's 4.5 months now, almost 5 months, and starting to teeth and having her own little personality there. And my wife helping out with the baby regiment, and there is a 50-50 chance that Natasha and her husband and of course the granddaughter might come up to the AMI gathering. Don't know yet. It all depends upon her husband's Army orders. They need to move to Fort Hood in Texas. And so that's kind of, we'll see what happens with that. Otherwise, just enjoying retirement and coming up to almost 2 years. In June will be 2 years. And definitely looking forward to the festivities, AMI festivities at your place there, and so we'll definitely keep you posted. And again, happy birthday to you there, George, and many more. And I'm glad that Miriam is doing better. And we'll just see how things go to get Natasha and her husband and the grandbaby up there too. So we'll let you know. WA6HCX. NY6L, Jay here in the high desert of Hesperia.
Okay, Jay, very good. And by the way, wouldn't that be great? Of course, I'd love to see Natasha and her husband, but Escalina. Oh my God, wouldn't that be great? I'll keep our fingers crossed that the Fort Hood thing works out. But yeah, looking forward to that. And before I call on Andy, let's put another call for any stations we may have missed. Please come now. Okay, you're missing at the moment. Andy, KD6TKX, the wonderful voice of there's no way to call it Curry Mountain, but when I say that, nobody understands what Curry Mountain is. It's a mysterious place out there where they see occasional phenomena from outer space, and the rest of us are smart enough not to question it. We just smile and go along with it. K6TKX, go ahead, Andy.
Okay, thank you, George. WA6HCX and the Wednesday AMI group. This is Kilowatt Delta 6, Tango Kilo X-ray, Andy. And I am, in fact, located in Curry Mountain, California, which is about 80 miles southwest of Monterey, and about 20 miles east, or west, rather. Oh, man, it's almost like math now. West of Coalinga. So just out here in the country, having a good time in retirement. I can relate to what Jay was talking about. It's been a little bit longer for me, but really great. And let's see, first of all, most sincere happy birthday to you, George. That's fantastic. And thank you for taking the net tonight, and you always do such a great job. And I think I've mentioned that before, but I have you back in my log when I first got on the air back in, I think it was 92. And you were in that first week, I think, the people I talked to. So nice to hear you're still out there doing a great job. Thank you to Skip for taking the earlies. The rig I'm using tonight is a pretty unusual one. I haven't had on the air in a while. It's a World War II Canadian radio. No digital components whatsoever. It's all strictly analog and somewhat archaic, but hopefully it's making the way here. So it's a wireless Set 19, which is a fairly common radio, but it's combined with an amplifier that runs a single 813 and the associated power supply to run that. So it does about 80 watts of AM, and I'm using it's completely rigid configuration, including the carbon mic, and the headset. So not a hi-fi station, but a pretty rare set, and one I enjoy operating from time to time. The radio is made by Northern Electric, and the amplifier combo was made by Rogers Majestic. So some good old Canadian manufacturers there. No swap, no roundtable. Again, thanks for letting me get in here, and happy birthday. WA6HCX, KD6.
Okay, Andy. Wow, I'm thinking about trying to remember the front panel of that wireless 19. What I always thought that even in surplus days, way back when, to be rather exotic. All those dials, wow. I thought back then, that would be perfect for creatures from outer space to land and have, that radio equipment aboard their saucer. But anyhow, feeling very, very good tonight, Andy. Okay, catch you next week. And next up, Bob, 789JIB. Speaking of saucer-like subjects from outer space, please assure us that from your observations there around Pasadena, that there are no large, ugly objects approaching planet Earth at this time. 789JIB. Go ahead, Bob.
Okay, George, rest assured. There is not one, and if there is, you won't need to worry about it. WA6HCX and the AMI group Wednesday night, WA9JIB, Bob over here in La Cañada. Couple comments. Andy, you said you're 70 miles southwest of Monterey. I think that would make you maritime mobile. I think maybe you meant to say southeast if I heard you right. Anyway, I know where you're at. I think I do anyway. George, Wilson, beautiful audio, very, very nice. Could maybe use a few more lows, as George said, but it was just fine over here in La Cañada, and I know you're working me long path, so you're making it around the globe very nicely. George, don't know why you don't like the Dallas area or the airport there. When I used to go down to a lot of business trips to Houston, to the Johnson Space Center, I'd always transfer planes at the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. And I loved that airport, and it was humongous, and I'd have to walk a mile from where I'd fly in from L.A. to where I'd go to the terminal where I'd catch the commuter flight to the small airport in Houston. And I just loved the people watching that airport. So I would never take the tram. I'd always walk it. And the reason, and I just loved it. The only problem, there were so many people there that I had to focus down. And so I particularly focused on the Dallas Cowgirls. Always had a very pleasant time walking through that airport. But of course, you can't do that if you've got Marion with you. So, happy birthday to you, George. Let me be the end to wish you a happy birthday where it is now a large. I'm running a D104 microphone via static. Johnson Viking Valiant, version 1.0, probably around 1959. Maybe about 140 to 151 carrier. Goes on up to my dipole in Vernon B. Hanging off a 35-foot mast. Yeah, goes through. Receiver is a Hammerland HQ129 X-ray from 1946. Got a Hammerland speaker to go with it. That I think I got at your house, George, one year from Brian in 1962. So anyway, that's the toys that we're running here tonight. No AMI number. Not going to worry about buy, sell, swap at this point. There's a round table. Yeah, put me on it for a cycle or two, so that's an affirmative. And don't worry about any gnarly asteroids, George. WA6HCX, WA9JIB.
Okay, Bob. I'm going to sleep better tonight. I was worried about that. Things that go bump in the night. I don't want a big one that goes bump for the entire planet here. But, by the way, our signal is very nice tonight. At the superior level, considering past conditions. And DFW, yeah, in fact, I think we're going in because we're going into the southwest to Love Field there in Dallas. But fortunately, no, it's terminal flight there, to go on. My past experiences, the worst ones I've had outside of Europe, is Denver. I'd fly in on one end of the airport, one extreme end, and have to walk the entire half mile to the other end. And I hated it. But this should be easy. Anyhow, nice signal tonight. Next up, from Tarzana, WJ6W, Dave, go ahead.
Well, good evening, George, and everybody on the AMI net. WJ6W, yes, here in Tarzana, California, and enjoying everyone's great signals tonight. Andy was just outstanding down here, and let's see, the new check-in, I think, was Wilson. Good audio, good strong signal here in the western side of the valley. And so we're running tonight. Our vintage part of what we're running tonight is the RCA 77DX microphone I'm looking at right now, and that feeds some solid-state processing into the Super Senior transmitter, listening on a modern ICOM receiver. So we're kind of digital, I guess, a fair amount. But let's see. They're talking about airports, Dallas and Denver. Yeah, Denver, what a walk. My gosh. I always kind of enjoyed Dallas. I usually have to go through that to go to Iowa, it seems like. I've had the best connections when I go back to see my family. Anyway, I thought they had pretty good restaurants, but it's been years now since I've been through there. I do remember having to take as Bob said, having to take a tram to kind of the back 40 of the airport to pick up the flight to Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Kind of a back 40 there. But the main part of the airport is very nice. Anyway, well, let's see, George, happy birthday at 93, and as Roy Rogers would say, happy trails to you on your trip. So, AMI number is 1235, and no swap or no round table. So back to you, George. WA6HCX, WJ6W.
Okay, Dave, very good, as usual. Beautiful signal from Tarzana there. And while I was picturing that, the old RCA microphone was a Super Senior. What a contrast. I mean, the microphone is damn near bigger than the transmitter, and we could never, back then, imagine such a thing. But so much for progress. Anyhow, get you, no, I won't next week. I'll get you the following week. Next up, Steve, KF6SYD, the rich voice of Long Beach there. Go ahead, Steve.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, our dear friend George. Happy birthday to you. There. Gives me great satisfaction to wish you happy birthday as you've done for me in this way. Oh my. KF6SYD Steve in Long Beach, AMI 1708, CCA AM 1000D transmitter, inverted V at 70 feet, AKG microphone, and what a wonderful group tonight. What wonderful band conditions. I hear everybody just sit back and listen to everyone so far. And I watched the waterfall on the computer screen, but never had to turn on the speaker, so this has been great. Thanks for hosting the net tonight, and put me down for the round table. And back over to you, WA6HCX, KF6SYD.
Okay, Steve, very good. My God, looking at the pattern on the computer screen here, what a beautiful, beautiful audio bandwidth you have there. But, you've always made that CCA transmitter just sound superb. So anyhow, hope everything is going great there. Hope our princess is doing well and succeeding. And looking forward to, of course, seeing you at the barbecue. Okay, next up, let's go down to Orange. K6IRD, Sharon, go ahead.
Well, George, WA6HCX, K6IRD, Sharon, AMI number 1525. And George, I am sending you virtual hugs and kisses for your birthday. Happy birthday, sweetheart. I didn't know that it was coming up. Then again, it was the way things have been going this last year. I don't think I know anything that's going on. It's just existing day by day and seeing what's going to happen. But anyway, I'm just so happy that you've got a birthday coming up and that you are the age that you are, but I know you're going to go on a lot longer, just as I am planning on going on a lot longer. I used to think I'd going to live to be 100 years old, but I know I'm going to go longer than that now. So, same with you. And I didn't remember anyway. I like to say I didn't know, but I think probably I just didn't remember that Natasha was expecting. And Jay, if you're listening, and even if Natasha is close by, tell her that I love her deeply, and I'm so happy for her. And congratulations for delivering a beautiful baby girl. And I know as I saw her, and I know Marion is too, because she and I both just adore you and want. I say it if she's listening, but you tell her this, Jay. we just opened the door here and really want to see her and this little baby that she produced. Hopefully that will happen when you do have your get-together. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to next week when I am AMI Net, and I plan on being here, guys, so stick around and be sure and show up. But then Thursday, Wayne and I are leaving for Visalia for the Southern California DX convention, the annual convention up there. So that will be time away from home, which I'm looking forward to. And then the following month, as I think I mentioned before, is the Dayton Ham Convention. That's an international convention, and everybody comes from all over the world. That's why it's called international, I guess. But anyway, we'll be driving there, but we're going to make several stops on the way. We've got granddaughters that live in Texas and a daughter that lives in Oklahoma, and then a lot of friends in Dallas, Texas. So we're going to be in Texas, and I understand you're going to Texas. So Texas is getting a lot of California travelers. And then we'll go on to Dayton, and then hopefully after that go on to Wisconsin to see Wayne's brother, and then come home. So our plans are expensive in that regard, but it seems even more so because we're not used to doing any traveling. We're used to staying here in the house and not doing much of anything. So getting out on the road again is going to be a new adventure for us. Let's see. Oh, I was thinking that when Jeff was on, the IRZ, he was talking about, and wishing you a happy birthday, that is, he was talking about either singing you a song or doing a tap dance for you. And I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. He and I need to get together. I took 6 years of tap dancing when I was younger, and that was during a time when television wasn't that in that many homes. So any kind of entertainment that was out on the weekends, especially Sundays, people loved going to see it because that was their way of at least getting some kind of entertainment. So I did a lot of dancing out on the stage with a lot of audiences out there. So I guess that sort of links to my personality. And I was thinking of Alicia. Her husband said that she's a little shy. This goes to show the difference in people. When we're born, we just pick up different characteristics, and mine certainly was not to be shy, but to be very overt, apparently, and like being out there doing whatever. So anyway, I've talked a lot right now, but I won't be around for the round table to say any more. So I'll turn it over to Wayne, but again, I will be back on next week on Wednesday night for the AMI West Coast AMI Net, and I hope you all are there. So with that, George, again, happy birthday and many, many kisses and hugs to you. And I'll give it to Wayne, W6IRD. This is K6IRD saying good night, everyone.
Hard out to follow, isn't it? Anyway, Wayne, W6IRD. Well, I've been writing the damn agency on this thing because it's this relay situation in the transmitter still clogging me. I'll have to get in there and change them out completely. I have to get some new ones. Because cleaning it doesn't, sometimes cleaning them just does not do the job. Anyway, Sharon's going to the house out with the dog.
With the puppy. Bailey said good night.
So we'll see you later on. Okay, let's see what else is there. A few things to do around here, trying to get them done.
I gotta move around.
Okay, here we are. Now we're back in business. Anyway, that's what's going on here. Not too much to say. Once again, happy birthday to you, George. I think you've heard that a lot tonight, but can't hear it too often when it's your birthday. But remember, we haven't got too many of them left. You know, we've got to take advantage of every chance we get to celebrate our birthdays. You imagine, George, can you imagine being 92 years old? Good grief. that's dangerous, you know. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say, turn it back over to you, George. Put me down for the round table, and I'll see you there. WA68CX, W6IRV.
Okay, Wayne, very good. Neil, sounding good. And Sharon, oh my God, you made my day. You made my day. And by the way, for the barbecue, since I now understand some of your talents, we're going to set up a little stage out in front there, and we'll get some music going so you can show us something. We'll bring a special costume, by the way, and show us some of your tap dancing skills. That will be the high point of the day. I'm convinced of it. Okay, anyhow, have a great net next week, and have the following month a great trip to Dayton there. And, of course, you get a chance to visit a lot of people on the way or on the way back. So, anyhow, great. Next up, N6IXC, I believe. Larry, your turn. Go ahead.
That sounds right, George. WA6HCX. KN6 IYC here in the Granite Hills above Oklahoma home. George, happy birthday. 93. That's inspiring, and I'm looking forward to. That's what I want. And you're inspiring. That's awesome. Anyway, safe travels to you, Alan Fort Worth. Good evening, everybody on the AMI net. Say this is KN6 IYC. There is Christmas above 1,625 feet. 3 miles away from just about everything. Anyway, operating conditions here haven't changed much. It's the FC90F pipe and the 480HX Android transceiver. Looks good. Coupled up to the AT200 Pro auto tuner. And then with coax is 25 foot to a 1-to-1 herd balance and 62 foot of wire per side to make up my speed. So that's what's going on here. A little bit chilly. Visibility has dropped substantially here because the coastal marine layer has just moved in, brought the temperature down, and I can't see across the valley here. So anyway, no on the swap, no on the round table. My AMI number is 1815. Anyway, George, have a great birthday, safe travels, and thanks for getting me on that. Oh, and Skip, thanks for getting me on here. Anyway, let's get back to KN6 IYC.
Okay, Larry, very good. Good coffee tonight. Okay, oh my God, we're going to Santa Barbara. It's going to be Mike, and tell us about whether you completed the work on that RCA transmitter that you've been working on, and what else has been happening there. And also brings up to speed on that young bride that you have there in the house. K6ZSR. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, George, WA6HCX. It's a beautiful AM group here. This is Mike, K6ZSR in Santa Barbara. And George, before I do a short ramble, I want to say, of course, I wish you a very, very happy birthday. And also best wishes for Miriam's recovery there. I just found out about that last week. And George, we've known each other for 31 years. And the reason I know that is because when I first moved to Santa Barbara, it wasn't long here where I answered an ad, and I came to your house there. I think you lived up at the top of Las Positas, if I'm not, my memory serves me right. It was up in that area, San Roque area, and I bought an ICO 73. See that I first met you. And then I think it was shortly after that you moved up there to San Ynez. So you left Santa Barbara for San Ynez and that beautiful, what did they say? I guess you call it a ranch. Yeah, you've got enough property there. It's called a ranch. Beautiful property. Anyway, that's the deal there. George, it's Collins, a broadcast transmitter, and I worked on it all day. I hope that Wayne is still there because, Wayne, I want you to know I've got it all completely wired today, except for the RF connector, which I'm putting on tomorrow. Everything is done. I'm moving on to rewinding the coils. And Douglas W6DQ is designing the push-to-talk sequencer for me using an Arduino. So that's the progress there, George. Anyway, and by the way, an excellent preamble there on our history, the mighty 4870. Oh, yeah. It's been going for many, many years. The board now have recognized our channel here, 3870. Okay, so AMI number 293. A shout out. I'm running a Flex 6400 today. A Flex 6400 MacBook. 88 watts on the peak, according to my meter, or thereabouts. And I'm just trying out and flexing the muscles on all of this stuff just to see how they do on a and a shout out to Kevin. I'm glad that you've got your Wi-Fi switch working. I've got a 16 relay, actually 32 relays, 16 on top, 16 on the bottom. I've got 8 connected. And so I'm switching 8 radios, transceivers, and separates here. So there you have it. And so let me see, this 6400, and that goes up to a swinging inverted D in the palm tree. So back to you, George. And if you could please tell me what the date of the AMI barbecue is there. I'd sure like to make it. So back to you, George. WA68CF, K6ZSR.
Okay, well, very good. Yeah. Barbecue is going to be the first Saturday in June. And looking forward to that. And yeah, you brought some old memories back. I do remember that. I was living in San Roque. I advertised on the SwapNet, the Saturday SwapNet or something like that, on a piece of equipment. And yes, that's the first time we met there in Santa Barbara. Some great memories. Okay, next up I have NY6DLA. Does that sound like anything? My writing is all scrunched up here. NY6DLA, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, George. W2A6HCX is the West Coast AMI net. This is Matthew, November 4, Delta, Lima, Alpha, and 4DLA. I'm in Orinda, California, about 15 miles east of San Francisco. AMI number is 1618. Transmitting with a night T150A, about 7 He's transmitting here. 5 meters coaxial dipole sloping down from 60 feet. The Turner 454H desk microphone. Receiver is a solid state Lafayette HA800B with the matching HE48 speaker. No on the swap, but I do have a want for a Deepkit HM11 meter, the meter for that reflective power SWR meter. I have one that's in great shape, except the meter in it's fried. So I'd like to replace the meter. If anybody has an extra meter lying around. So, and a special and happy birthday. I'm glad you're working on your birthday, celebrating with all of us here, and celebrating it on AM. All the great equipment out tonight. Thanks for the relay in. I believe that was AF6LY, John. And I'll turn it back to you. The birthday net control, WA6HCX from N4DLA.
Okay, forgive me, I did have it. It just, I can't read my own writing when I'm scribbling down here, so that was my fault. Anyhow, great signal tonight. And you're looking for a heat kit HM11, I think. Anyhow, anyone have something like that, give them a call. That's what this is all about, helping each other out. It makes life great, just great. Okay, that's the list as I have it. Let's see if there's anyone else that would like to join us before we close the net. Please come now, WA6HCX.
6Q,
I missed that. Go ahead.
November India 6 Quebec.
I'm sorry. I'm assuming be copying that as a kind of a double and not comprehending. Slowly, one more time.
November India 6 Quebec, NI6Q Flagstaff.
Oh yeah, go ahead, pick it up.
Oh, okay, thanks. George. Yeah, John in San Diego, of course. Very strenuous day at the yacht club. Got the boat going almost, a different mast, and have to get equipment for the PA system for opening day ceremonies. And I heard the start up the earlies, and I've had a 2-hour nap. So glad to hear you guys still on. Left everything idling. So I just want to say hi, or if anybody is around. 1258 is my number. Back to you from WA6JUS.
Okay, John, very good. I'm sorry. Okay. Screwed things up. Nice signal from down there. Hopefully, I'm thinking maybe on the Big Mamu, but if not, it's still sounding very, very good. So, great to hear you tonight. Okay, hearing no one else, let's close the AMI net at, what is it, 21:16 on April 12th. We're at 2023. My God, I can't believe it. Time is flying, just flying. Anyhow, with that, I want to thank all the incredible stations that checked in tonight. A pleasure to hear all these operators and some great stories. Okay, let's start with the round table. And we have Fire Parole, Skip, K6LGL.